The celebration of Memorial Day is oftentimes a family affair where folks remember the reason for the holiday because of a family member's time in the military. Jeff Newmeyer visited a cemetery on Carroll Road and learned the stories of 3 men who performed service to the country in World War II.
Ready? Aim! Fire!
Members of the VFW and American Legion posts out of Cherubusco fired rifle shots late morning at Riverview Cemetery, honoring a long list of veterans of foreign wars.
Died the day after I was 18.
This day in the adjacent Eel River Cemetery, Gene Harder stopped to pay tribute at the grave of his father, Francis Harder. He fought in World War II beginning in 1943 at the age of 39. He marched through Rome soon after Italian leader Mussolini had been hanged in the streets. His father told a few war stories to other family, which Gene Harder overheard as a boy.
2 Purple Hearts, shot twice by the Germans. A little kid, you don't pay much attention to it, but I do remember hearing about him getting wounded and seeing a bullet hole through his arm.
He ended up in the Battle of the Bulge.
Les Roberson lost his father 7 years ago, more than 60 years after Jess Roberson returned home from World War II. He says that tour of duty was a source of great pride for his dad, who was in the Belgian town of Bastogne shortly after it was liberated. He didn't speak much about the hard times.
Dad didn't dwell on those. He dwelled on the time he jumped through the basement window and a piece of shrapnel went through his overcoat, you know, those kinds of things. But been a little closer, he wouldn't have been my dad.
There are flags placed at gravesites all over this cemetery. Here's one at the gravesite of Kenneth Liggett, who passed away in 2004. He nearly died decades earlier in a close brush with death in World War II.
Liggett was riding on a tank hit by a shell. Of a half-dozen troops on board, he was the only survivor.
I asked him about the war, but he never would talk about it. He said, "Son, I've done enough for both of us. You don't want no part of it." That was the only thing he ever said about the war to me.
None of the 3 men we spoke with lost their fathers during war, but their service to country is a big reason why each treasures the freedoms that millions of others died fighting to protect. Jeff Newmeyer, 21 Alive.